yesterday. Yesterday was the 36th or 37th, now I can't remember, anniversary of Flats and Sharp, making it the oldest music store in Chicago.
City? Yeah. Well, it is 2 years younger than the Heartland. A year and a half younger than the Heartland.
Okay.
Chris, how is it for a local music store when you have the Guitar Center, and I think there's another place on Lincoln, which I was in because my kid had a guitar repaired there. It's just very impressive. Big places, then you have places up in Evanston. You were a smaller shop, but clearly you're growing. What's it like?
Well, I'll tell you, retail business in the world right now is completely different because of the internet, right? So,
share your mic.
Oh, okay. So, retail business everywhere in the world is super different right now because of the internet. And little stores like us, right when I went into business, and what I had told Ed was that we were not going to be a Guitar Center. We weren't going to be a Chicago Music Exchange, which is awesome. And I think every musician should visit the Chicago Music Exchange because it's so impressive. But we don't sell anything over $600. We cater to beginners, and we cater to intermediate players, and we get them started. And we have all the tools that are affordable for them to do that. So that's what we do. And then we make, really what we do is we make our name on our service, which is we're the only people selling sheet music in Chicago right now.
I love that.
If you need any old sheet music, I have big file full of this is a hot mic again. I actually have a guy who used to bring me stuff from the alleys or from basements he was cleaning out. I have great old sheet music. I'll show it to you someday.
Oh, that's great.
It'd be a great exhibit.
Now.
Yeah.
Whoa. There we go.
I don't think so.
But then there's also the repairs and the lessons that we do, and the rentals. We're also the only music store in Chicago that's renting affordable instruments to children for school. No one else, for some reason, I don't know why no one else is doing that. So for $12.75 a month, you can rent a flute, or clarinet, or a trumpet.
That's terrific.
How about violins? I went into debt buying violins for my daughter, Casey Blue, and it's still around. Maybe I could sell it, but...
Oh, Michael.
I'm kidding. Casey's going to play it again, I know.
Thank God she can't hear you say.
But do you have violins, too?
Sure, we have violins, cellos, and upright basses.
Do you call them violins or fiddles?
We call them violins. You can call them whatever you want.
Yes, and he will. He will call them whatever he wants. Well, I love the fact that we have a music store in the neighborhood, that the kids can take lessons, that so many, actually a lot of folks who have moved through the Heartland working here in their youth wound up in your shop, either taking lessons, working, or now I think teaching some lessons, right?
Yeah, how great is that we gainfully employ 20 musicians in the neighborhood.
Wow, Chris,
that is
that's
fabulous, Chris.
That's really a point of pride for me. That these guys are sending their kids to, some of them private school. You know what I mean? Like
that's
they're
right.
not. This is musicians making a living. It's huge. I don't know if it's ever happened in this neighborhood before.
We actually miss Server Dan.
We miss.
You see him regularly, but he's working over
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
He's not
Yeah,
Joe.
I'm going to go, Joe St. Charles.
And Joe St. Charles, yep.
Right.
I had 3 kids take lessons, and even Molly worked there in the old days.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Ed had told me that he had hired Molly to help out around the store, and Hal came through there, and Katie, and so many more now. We on December 14th is our next all ages rock show, and we started doing our shows here at the Heartland 6 years ago, and we're, I don't know, maybe a crowd of about 100, maybe 150. Jammed. To now they're up to 700.
And you do it at main stage?
No, we don't. We're at 27 Live in Evanston now.
Oh, wow.
It's a new club that just opened up, and we're real excited to do a show there.
27 Live, huh? I've not even
Yeah,
heard of it.
brand new. Just got their liquor license.
All right, so wait a minute. You also have, do you not have some kind of holiday caroling?
Yeah, so every month we do an in-store performance, and so on December 6th, on Friday at 6 o'clock, we're doing a Christmas Carol event, and we bring the piano out into the main room, and Liz Jackson, our vocal instructor, is going to lead us all in Christmas carols. I understand Santa might stop by.
Wow. You must be connected.
Yeah, I know a few people.
If you got Santa that early, man. And then walk around the neighborhood or anything with the carols.
Yeah, you know what?
maybe just-
There's a lot of adults that are geared up to go do that. I don't know if I'm going to be doing that, but yeah, there is a bit of a pub crawl planned for later that night.
Excellent.
Well, Chris Bell, let me ask you how you decided to get into the music store business, because you were very impressive to me as a woman who was working in the building trades, as I recall. You were like a union member, you heavy equipment. What was your gig?
I was local 597 pipe fitter for 20 years.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's right.
So I was one of the first 10 women in, and one of the first ones out. I shouldn't say that. There was plenty that came in, and
You left in good standing.
I left in great standing. Yeah, with
Will you get any kind
great
of pension
friends.
from that work?
Yeah, my pension is locked in. Yeah, and thank God for the unions,
I like
Okay.
unions.
Let's hear it for the union.
Yeah, let's hear it out there for unions. Yeah,
Thank God for the
we
unions.
got it. They're coming to life in the room here.
So they did. It was a great way for a young person to make a living and set myself up for retirement, and then give myself an opportunity to find something that I was passionate about and make a difference in other people's lives.
And you're hearing this from somebody who is at least 20 years younger than me,
Right.
which makes her 30 years younger than Michael.
Some people planned better than we did,
I
Kate.
guess so.
But we got a radio show.
Yeah.
We got pretty good health.
Get away.
And we got good ideology, and we have a lot of fun. And Flats and Sharp is really a very crucial institution in the neighborhood.
Amen to that.
And, it started out, I remember just, I need a string for something, or my kid needs something for something he's doing. We go over there. But, and then they started taking lessons, and the next thing I know, you've expanded upstairs, you've taken more and more spaces in that building on Sheridan Road, and now you have another place out toward the edge of the city. Tell us a bit about your growth.
Yeah, well, I haven't signed the lease yet, but we're very, very close. We're very close. The target date is March 1st, and our second location will be at 6139 Northwest Highway, so Devon and Harlem, that area. And that's a big deal for a small business in today's economy to open up a second store. But it's been the lessons that has put us on the mark, and really all these 20 musicians that work for me over at Flats and Sharp from the neighborhood, these are some of the kindest, most gracious, brilliant communicators. I mean, that's what I think makes a good educator, is someone who knows how to communicate. And I don't care if you're a good musician. I don't care what you do on stage. But when I interview a teacher, I interview them about their communication skills, because we all learn different, right? And so all these teachers have an ability to teach verbally, to teach, visually, to teach, orally, and they're great. They're all so great, these men and women. And so we'll take some of them, like Joe St. Charles, Heartland alumni out there.
Because I think he's kind of like a genius guy.
Genius.
That people, he's like
Little
going to emerge. Talk a little bit about Joe.
I could talk about Joe for hours. He's a genius. He's an amazing artist, an amazing musician, one of the kindest men I've ever met in my life, and his ability to work with children has been outstanding. It's unbelievable. Joe has several autistic students that he communicates with so well. He just did an in-store performance last month, and one of these children were in the audience, and he was fixed on Joe, just fixed on his every movement. And this is a kid whose life will be changed because of his relationship with Joe St. Charles, for sure.
Well, I have a son,
very
Hal, who
moving.
actually helps out on this show doing video work, and he toured with the Smith Westerns for a good amount of time. And his first teacher was Joe. And I
Right.
think now I hear them jamming in the basement together. I think they call it the jalapenos or something like that. But it's like it's good to have Joe coming over to the house and banging those drums.
Yeah, no, Joe talks very fondly of Hal and the relationship. I think I even saw one of the videos they put together as well. Yeah, what
Those
a...
videos you may not want to watch.
Yeah, right.
Thank God for small favors.
Who are some of the bands other than kids that I'm involved with who have emerged? People who've taken lessons at your store and have kind of grown up. I mean, I remember one of your teachers telling me it was a pleasure to play with one of my kids, and who now is off touring and stuff with Twin Peaks. But I'm sure there are other kids. There are other kids who actually in that band who studied with you guys.
Yeah, yeah, like Jack. Yeah, Jack, who's also touring with Twin Peaks.
Jack
Yeah. There's Mile 96 is another band. These guys are all in college right now, and they get back together when they're all back in the neighborhood on breaks. So that's another band that's old enough to be in the clubs. And right now, I have two bands that you will absolutely hear about them coming up through the ranks, and neither one of them have definable names, but they're all writing their own music now. And that's sort of what we do, is we teach these kids how to jam. Like, we're giving these kids skills. Like, they're learning theory, they're learning how to read music, but when we get into a band room, you're given a lead sheet, and that's it. You're just given the chord progressions, and then you come up with a lead. You come up with the rhythm.
Chris, are you a musician?
Barely.
How
Are you going
is
to
it?
sing for us?
How is it
That I'm not doing.
How is it that you wound up, with a music store?
Yeah, Ed Mooney is the greatest salesman in the world. In the world. I hope he's listening. Ed, you are the best salesman in the world. I was just walking by one day, and he had a sign. I'm not kidding. It may have been 6 inches long and 2 inches high that said, "For